Hey everybody, it's the V2V podcast with Shorts and Aurelius. I am Aurelius. This is episode 29. Here's an idea. Hey media, stop covering Trump. Stop covering Trump.
Stop covering Trump.
Stop covering Trump. Stop covering Trump. Stop covering Trump.
99.5. And now it's time for some AC/DC.
On April 18,
now
1930, Good Friday, BBC skipped the usual news bulletin and instead simply stating there is no news broadcast in opera.
And now, another hit from 99.5 FM. Now it's time for some Led Zeppelin on 99.995.FM. Oh, the humanity! The humanity! The Hindenburg is down!
So I don't even know. So the media should stop covering Donald Trump.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, let's begin with like a schoolyard bully. The way I begun with you. Like, do you remember
because you were
having...
such a schoolyard bully, you mean?
Yeah, because I was the schoolyard bully.
And with me,
right?
And then I learned the lesson.
Yeah, right?
So
you kept taking your ball, right?
Give me back my ball! So,
I kept doing... Yeah, you kept doing that, but I kept taking your ball, and I kept throwing it at your head. And then it would rebound back to me. And every time you tried something, it seemed like there was this thing called blowback. Like, even when you tried talking to your friends about it, or when you tried to get everyone together, no one cared. And he got better almost, or bigger. Yeah. So, like, Trump is kind of this guy, right?
He is.
I mean, Trump is a bully. And so, it seems to me that, I mean, with the Stormy Daniels thing in particular, I mean, like, she's now going to have to pay his fucking legal bills. You know, which,
part of it, yeah. See, now we're getting into, this is what I want to avoid. Like, the whole idea, no, you're right. Like, there is that. But the fact that we know this is a problem. Like, that's kind of
it's huge.
The thing,
it's
because
huge.
As you were saying with the bully, we're playing right into his this whole thing with being a kind of a schoolyard bully, and so everything that he does or someone does back to him is way overblown. And for whatever reason, it seems to capture people's attentions. We know we have information in our heads that we shouldn't have, like who the fuck Stormy Daniels is to begin with.
Right.
It's not news. It's not important. It's not anything worth knowing. Like, even if that stuff is true, all that should be going on behind the scenes, in a courtroom, in an office, without coverage. Like, maybe at the end of one of these weird episodes, when there's some kind of news, like when there's some kind of thing to report or something to say. Like at the end of, I'm trying to think of an example. You know, like like, hey, there was or say for instance, like, hey, this is happening, and then you don't hear about it, and then like months later, someone reports, hey, this is how that ended, that thing that we reported a few months ago.
Right. Instead
like
of days and days of Anderson Cooper and his round table talking about Stormy Daniels.
Right, and then every other topic.
That's really unhealthy. Yeah.
Because I know
that's
there's
really
stuff going
unhealthy.
on. I imagine there's stuff going on in the country that like a news organization maybe should be focusing on, but we're not even aware of what those stories are. Like, whatever happened to I don't know, whatever happened to anything. Like just take a topic from like when Obama was president or whatever, regarding like, I don't know, the oil pipeline or, I don't know, something different, something else, something other than constant speculation about, what's going to happen next. Like, there's things that are happening now that I imagine the country would be better served by the media reporting on. So
I just get really fucking angry because, like, on election night, you've got this round table of people on CNN talking, and they're like promising that now maybe possibly we'll see Trump's tax returns. Because we have, I mean, and my mother shouting, yes, 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 and like me sitting there just looking at her like, yeah, and then like days later, her like upset with something that Trump's done and saying, how can he do this, and to me this is just the endless cycle. And I watch my mother's behavior, like, even with these fires going on. By the way, we have horrendous fires going on here. But I watch my mother's behavior. She turns on the news, and she sits in front of this box, and she allows it to sway her fucking, her view on things. And she sits in front of it all day, particularly like when there's an emergency going on. She won't stop.
Yeah.
Like, it's all day, and it's so unhealthy.
Right.
It's so unhealthy.
So when, excuse me, so, let me clear my throat here. So when Donald Trump says, the media is the enemy of the people, okay, sadly, he's right and it's ironic in the way that he's right, because the media constantly reporting on every little thing that Donald Trump is saying or doing kind of makes them the enemy of the people. You know what I mean? Like,
correct.
He's right, but he's arguing that he's right for a different reason. But he's right because they won't stop putting microphones in front of his face. I really think that they the big media companies and broadcasters should really just start ignoring him and not putting cameras and microphones in front of his face, because that would actually change the story. Like, they would no longer, the media as a whole would no longer become part of the story, which is what they shouldn't be doing. They're reporting on themselves now, which is absurd, and it's not serving anybody, except maybe, I guess, the bottom line, because people like your mom, who are enraptured by the spectacle, not just of, I kind of feel the same way about, like, the fire coverage, too, or emergencies in general. Like, there's really no need to continuously, like, show that stuff. Like, people are aware that it's going on. Like, I hadn't seen personally any coverage of the fires because I haven't watched anything, but I know exactly where they are, because other people have told me. And
right.
And they're
I think
they're not staring at it either. They're not. They've heard something or saw like a thing, and then they said, "Oh my gosh, this is what's going on." But they're not sitting in front of their TV all day, like totally absorbed by it. They're off doing stuff, being aware that this is going on. Like, and then their lives are filled up with other stuff. Right.
I think also, like, the point I want to make is that the media is making Donald Trump. They are making him. We wouldn't know about this man. This man wouldn't be anybody. He wouldn't even, be anyone we would have, thought about without them anyway.
Right.
And
exactly.
From the very beginning of the campaign, they made him. And they emboldened him. Yeah.
With giving him a show, with giving him The Apprentice thing to begin with, like what the fuck, like what, like
so
why?
Also,
I never watched an episode of that show. I've seen clips, just kind of pop up, but I couldn't understand how that could be entertaining in any way. Like, I just never got it. I never understood the appeal of watching some blowhard real estate guy gather together a bunch of, like, suck-ups to make them do his bidding, and then one at a time, like, knock them off and fire them for the prize of some great job at the Trump Corporation. Like what? These people are already accomplished in their field, I guess, to even be able to get into the show, or then the celebrities. Like, they've already made their names. They've already, like, why would you want to attach yourself to this guy? Why would the media want to attach themselves to this guy? Why? Like, I don't get it. You could pick anybody. Like, it's like what I was saying yesterday. Walmart has a far greater impact on the country, that kind of corporate monopoly that affects everybody. And yet the media isn't covering the unknown CEO of Walmart every day. But that guy probably has a bigger impact on our lives than certainly Donald Trump does on any given day. It's and for these people to act like they don't understand this, it's got to be about the money. Hey. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
What happened? When did you stop hearing me?
I don't know. I think I pressed mute because you were just rambling, and I wanted to say things to cut in, but I couldn't stop myself.
Don't
anyway,
cut in.
So
don't cut in.
Basically, I want to say that, like, if there's an emergency situation and it's on TV and it's not happening within your 5-mile radius, you probably shouldn't be fucking watching it, and you probably shouldn't be watching it fucking all day. I get that she has friends that are there or friends' houses that are there, but, like, for real, it's just stupid. And it really drives me bonkers. It drives me bonkers to have to, like, because I was woken up this morning at 9 a.m. by that, because she came in and turned on the news. and that woke me up.
Right.
And that's what I've had on all day, you know. And the second that they cut it off for college football for a few hours just to have some fucking normalcy in places that aren't affected by this, she went nuts. She went nuts looking for it, and she needed to find a way to look for it, and she wanted to be able to look for it live. And that's really an illness, you know. I don't mean to like criticize her, but it's like really
you're right. Yes. So instead,
and it's an old way. It's an yeah.
Go ahead. No, I want to hear the old way.
It's an old way of doing things. It's the old way that people used to do things. They used to come home when there was an emergency and turn on the TV. And, like, British people do this, like, religiously, too. Like, it's a big British thing to do it. To just plop yourself in front of the TV when there's something disastrous going on.
Well, right, because the old days, you come home from work, the evening news would come on at, like, 6 p.m., and you'd be watching, like, the summary of the day's news. And they'd be in 30-second clips, you know, they'd be like, hey, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And then it would be over and you'd be watching game shows or whatever else you're watching on any given night. Or your favorite series would come on. And, you know, whatever it was, like Friends would show up on TV and then you'd feel better about yourself. And then ER would come on and you'd be all excited about the hospital drama. But but that's not really the way things work anymore. Not because there's far too much access to. I mean, not too much access, but it's easier to watch whatever you want. But when you still have these giant monopolies controlling things, everything you look at is kind of the same. Like, it's like, oh, the fire's over here, but then if you turn the channel, well, the fire's also over here, and, you know, you just can't get away from it. But you can get away from it. You can turn it off.
Right.
Pardon me?
I mean, it's not that hard. And I mean, I remember this with 9/11 as well. And I remember sort of after like a day, I was done and I felt sick because I felt like I was being brainwashed. And I felt like on every channel, all we were watching were repeating videos of the same thing happening over and over again. And this was almost like, you know, it was like real brainwashing. And my mom just, you know, stayed right in front of the TV the whole time for a week, you know, entrenched in it. And I think a lot of people did that too.
Right. Well, to pretend like the news doesn't have an agenda is foolish. Like to act like, oh, they're just like whatever pops up, they're going to put up like and show you. No, there's a narrative there. Like, they have a plan and an agenda because they need to get you to continue watching until whatever the next event is. And the longer they can string that out on one topic, the less expensive it is for them and the more money they make. So if they can do 9/11 for 2 weeks, it's a bargain. You know, they don't have to do anything other than throw up footage and have some guy talking over coverage of just death and destruction. Yes, exactly.
When did this begin? This probably began with 60 Minutes and the profitability of sort of biased news, right?
Oh, I think it began with the Clinton impeachment.
Okay.
Back in whenever that was in the late 90s. It was the Fox News showed up, right, and they had the 24-hour coverage. They didn't go to commercial. They just had these like House and Senate coverage of Congress talking about Bill Clinton, and a miracle happened. Like, their ratings went through the roof. And that was kind of the beginning of this single topic coverage that they realized that they could keep going for days because of this the 24-hour news cycle, and they didn't have to turn away at all because people kept watching, and it became an event, like the OJ thing. Like nobody would turn away. Like it was always there. You could always reliably turn the TV on, and there was OJ. Like, and
I mean, my dad recorded that at night because we were living in England at that time, and he would record that at night, and we'd watch it during the day, and then he'd record over it. And like it was that kind of an event. And it was that was really, like, I don't remember that Monica Lewinsky thing very well. I was only 12. How old were you?
I was like in my late 20s.
Right, okay. But I remember thinking, like, okay, well, people are covering a blowjob, That's what this is about, I remember that. And that's sort of what I think of it now.
Right. And those things were, like, they were different than what's going on now because those were they were events surrounding people, but now it's turned into the person himself being the event. Like Trump is the event. Whatever, like it's not that something is
what he does.
Something is happening.
Simply,
something is happening that he's involved in. Anything that he does is now also that the complete event, and that's what they need to show. But to get away from that, I thought that we could I could now present some news of our own that
sure.
And people if they're tired of all of that stuff, they can listen to what we are going to discuss, because I think it would be a nice change.
Yeah.
So here's some news. So
okay.
This just in: no country is allowed to own the moon.
Whoa.
Yeah. The Outer Space Treaty, formerly known as the Treaty on Principles Governing the Activities of States in the Exploration and Use of Outer Space, including the moon and other celestial bodies. I think they nicely shortened that up to the Outer Space Treaty. That's good on whoever decided that. Ratified in 1967, prohibits any country from claiming sovereignty over the moon or any other celestial bodies, and from placing nuclear weapons or other WMDs on them. This is an entirely true fact. And people can ponder that. Say, wow, no.
God, I thought the moon was owned by Ryan Gosling.
Perhaps. He has the clout to pull it off, I guess.
Hey guys.
Here's something else that's really interesting, at least to me.
Yeah.
Guys. Do you know that space smells like a combination of diesel fuel and barbecue, according to astronauts and Ryan Gosling?
Wow. It smells like that.
It smells like diesel fuel and barbecue. And it's because that's the smell of dying stars. That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. I've got a lot more. Are you into it?
Yeah.
All right. So Cornell University scientists have created a functioning guitar the size of a human blood cell. pretty awesome. Can you imagine, being cut away from Trump coverage, and this reporter's many oranges are green when they're ripe. Scientists removed their chlorophyll to make them more appealing to North American consumers. This just in. I didn't know that. Wait a minute. You're telling me that oranges are green and they take the green out to make them look more orange? It's incredible.
Wow. Wait. Can we have Anderson Cooper discuss this with his panel?
See, that would be cool, right?
See?
Yes, I like that a lot more.
Yeah.
How about this? This is the news. An Australian research institute published a study on the loss of teaspoons in the workplace. Where did all the spoons go? They're just vanishing. No one knows where they're going. So somebody spent money to research it.
I think that employees are, trying to say that there are no spoons.
You're right, or they're all junkies.
One of the two, yeah.
Right.
Horrendous.
Speaking of AC/DC, an average bolt of lightning contains enough energy to toast 100,000 pieces of bread. Oh, wow. Hashtag big bottle.
Yeah.
Researchers from Heidelberg University Hospital in Germany had determined it takes 6 minutes for alcohol to impact human brain cells.
Wow, sir.
So you're not really
6
drunk
minutes?
For 6 minutes.
That's bullshit. I'm drunk right away.
Right.
I take a sip and I'm drunk. I take a sip and I'm drunk. I can't handle that shit, man.
Yeah. Oh,
I
wow.
swear it's something to do with my... Yeah, right?
It's not bath time.
Except for my rubber ducky.
Here's something news about rubber ducks.
Yeah?
29,000 rubber ducks were lost at sea, and they're still being discovered in unexpected places.
Oh my God! Dun dun dun!
29,000. This was in 1992. So
breaking
I imagine
news.
the number has gone way up.
Oh my God! There must be so many lost rubber duckies out there, man.
They're just floating around.
Yeah, just out there,
Incredible.
man. Insane.
We have a report that a New Jersey man flunked out of law school and subsequently sued the school for having accepted him in the first place.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. It's like, yes, I'd like to apply to law school, please. And sure, come on in. And he's like, the law school's like, you have failed. He's like, I'm suing you for accepting me in the first place.
Yes! America, land of suing.
Wow.
I remember my first experience with that because in England we don't really do that, and it's really complicated to sue people, and it just doesn't happen, and so my first experience with that was when I came over here and I saw Rocky 5 or whatever it was, the one where
wow.
Yeah, the one where he's retarded and he's after the Russian. Yeah, after the Russian, and he fights on the street.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Hey, I have brain damage. Anyway, I saw that, and there's a scene where
Throw in the towel, Rock! Throw in the towel!
He goes, hey, touch me and I'll sue you. This guy to Rocky, he goes, touch me, I'll sue. I was like, whoa. I'd never heard that before, you know?
Hey,
should
I touch you? No, Rocky, don't touch him.
Don't touch him, Rocky! Don't!
Throw in the towel, Rock.
Whoever him! Rocky's strong now. Dun-dun-dun.
Oh, here's something that Donald Trump could do to make some legitimate news. Like he could be like Pablo Picasso. And what I mean by that is that Pablo Picasso carried around a revolver loaded with blanks, which he would fire at whoever asked him what his work meant.
Holy fuck.
That's fucking awesome. Oh, that's a really great painting. What does it mean? What? Bang, bang. Like,
oh my god.
that's pretty fantastic.
Holy shit.
Wow. That would be news. But it would only be news for like 10 minutes. But in today's culture, it would be news for like 2 months. Like, remember when Donald Trump fired the blank gun? Like, oh yeah, 2 months ago? Yeah, we're still talking about it. All right. What else is happening in this world? The only word that rhymes with purple is herple, which means to limp awkwardly. And for the feminists out there, nothing rhymes with woman.
Whoa.
Think about that. Right? What? We're going to have a bunch of protesters in the comment section. Like, we need rhymes with woman.
I think something Michael Jackson said might have rhymed with woman at some point, though. Like one of his, scrabbles. Yeah, his words.
Woman. Oh, yeah, maybe it was like, woman, woman,
woman.
Could be. Woman.
Wanna be starting something. Wanna be starting something.
Oh man. Yeah, could be. Let's see. Have you ever Googled yourself?
Yeah. It's not good. Please don't do it, everyone at home.
56% of internet users have Googled themselves. I think that number is pretty low. I would guess it's closer to 99.9%. I think everybody has Googled themselves at this point. How could you not?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just like impossible to not. And if you haven't, everyone else has. So fuck, everyone in your life has. And all the Russian hackers.
That might be fake news.
Yeah.
Could be. This is kind of gross. Nestle has sold over 200 flavors of Kit Kat bars in Japan, including soy sauce, creme brulee, green tea, and banana. 200 flavors. I didn't even know there were 200 flavors. What? Well, you know, I think just as the media going overboard on Trump, we should probably not go overboard on fascinating alternate news. So
yeah, I'm a bit done too.
Yeah, so this was episode 29 of the V2V podcast with Shorts and Aurelius. How about that?
Hey, how about that? That's freaking awesome.
How about them green oranges?
Hey, how about them green oranges? Hey, green orange.
Oh, here's a final fact. So, orange is a fruit, a color, and a tree, right?
Yeah.
So, which came first?
Ooh. Ooh.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you which came first. The tree. The name of the tree came first.
Right.
Naranha it's Arabic, and that was the name of the tree, which translates into orange. Not as the color or the fruit, but just the tree, and then the things that came off the tree were also called oranges. And then they decided, oh, this fruit is this color, it's also orange.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
Fantastic.
There you go.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing what, and we barely spoke of the president at all. Like, we
kind of did, but we kind of like avoided it, and we talked about how people talking about him shouldn't be talking about him.
Right, it's the only way to talk about it. You're in this trap, of course, that the only way to talk about not talking about it is talk about it.
Could I just mention something with that as well, just quickly? I know that we're going back around at the end of the podcast back to this, but I think it's really important because
Yeah, that's fine. Of course. It's your podcast.
It's
do whatever you want.
Why, thank you, sir. I feel like I've seen this thing with trolls before on the internet too, and really clever ones. And really the only way to defeat them is to fucking just submit and stop and leave them alone and try to, completely ignore them.
Oh yeah, because Trump is everything. He is like the apex troll. Absolutely. He's really
massive.
Good at it.
It's mega trolling. All of it is trolling. And it's so brilliant. And it's so working, particularly in the spectrum that is such a sensitive area for all of us, it seems. Who knew we were so fucking sensitive about our politics?
Well, when you have the quote unquote most powerful man in the world, who also happens to be a troll, like kind of all bets are off. Like you're going to get ultimate troll all the time, and he uses the position to ensure that he gets reactions. Like the media feels like they're obligated to react because in the past when the president did something notable, of course the media would report on it because it was noteworthy. Like, hey, look, Obama flipped off a baby. And, people would be like, whoa, what? Obama flipped off a baby? And that would be news for a minute.
What's really silly, though, is, corporations own these news companies, right? They own these news companies. And, therefore, they are, fueling this fire constantly within us against him, which helps him because it blows back against us. And then, they're really the ones in control because they're corporations.
Right. And now we know, and now we're learning the specific names of these, reporters, people that we would never, why would anyone need to know the name of, Jim Acosta? But now we all know who that is. Because now he's the story.
Jim Accosted? Huh? Jim Accosted?
Yeah, isn't that funny? Is that on purpose? Because
I feel like it's so on purpose. I feel like this is a complete plan. But if we were doing Operation Mockingbird, this would be a huge part of it.
Because
for real.
Because the White House intern accosted Jim Acosta.
Yeah.
Right?
And Sarah Horrible.
What?
Yeah. There was Sarah Horrible and Jim Acosta.
Uh-huh. And that girl though, what the
right.
If you know what I wish that poor woman would have done would be no, Mr. President, I will not take his microphone. Like,
or just started screaming rape really loud, or like the fire or something, you know, like fire, rape.
Right, but these people are so brainwashed that there's no way that there's. I still don't get it because, well, I mean, I think we do get it, but it still seems like impossible that this is the position we're in right now. But
yeah,
we were supposed to end this thing, so we're gonna end it. But
yeah,
I think
bye.
That's a good point. Bye.
Chop, chop, yeah.